So I'm gonna try to tell you the rest of what happened when my daughter was born. Even if I don't think she will be quiet for so much longer now. So let's see how this goes. Anyway, as I said yesterday, no, the day before yesterday, in the last video, that we wanted to wait of some mysterious reason. If I understand this right, uh, she's born like 3 days earlier than, or when we took the decision. Uh, it was 3 days earlier than the lower limit for when to allow a C-section, which isn't emergency for the baby. And it was to me. To me, it was an emergency. And consider my heart, it could have very easily and very fast turned to emergency, a C-section. Um, one when I haven't had the possibility to be awake, and yeah, it could easily turn out to something even more traumatic than it did. And I just disagree with them. Those 3 days wasn't that important. I think I had a harder time to connect to my daughter and to be able to, to be able to be her mom simply if they had waited. I think it had been too traumatic for me to be able to handle on my own. Anyway, the doctor first said no, and she sent in the midwife to tell me that we wanted my friend to go home and me to have some painkillers and something to sleep on and get some rest and see about that. And that was exactly what happened 10 years ago when I lost my next youngest daughter. It was almost down to the exact same words they told me. And that time, my friend Eva was with me that time too. She went home to rest, like we said. I took those pills. I went to rest in the same bed as I was lying in now, in the same room. And then I slept for 45 minutes. And when I woke up, I started to bleed. And a minute later, that I was dead. Dead and this is pretty hard to talk about, but when a midwife this time told me this, to me, she could just as well have told me that who also was going to die. To me, it felt that way. It felt like she was, like I was gonna lose her too, and like there's nothing I could do. It's like get that far, but mm, sorry, it's kind of hard to talk about still. And I guess that's one of the reasons I haven't updated those videos either, because until now, because it just feels too hard to talk about. Anyway, I kind of get hysterical when she told me that. I just, I couldn't breathe and I couldn't think, and I was just crying, and I think she was afraid I would pass out. And Eva tried to talk to the midwife, and the midwife asked me what I wanted because she wanted to be able to inform the doctor. She went back and talked to the doctor because she realized this wasn't okay. This was not going to work. I mean, if no, and Eva asked me later on if I felt bad that she talked so much with the doctor and so on, and that she spoke on my behalf. But I'm really glad she did, because I wasn't able to at that time. I wasn't able at all. So I'm really glad she did. And the doctor came in back in, and she started to talk again about how important those few days was for Earl, and for me, she claimed at first, and Eva just told her to get lost. It wasn't, it really wasn't the case. It was absolute worst thing could happen to me right there, and she should know that. And she started talking about that my fear was about losing control and things like that, and I think it was the only thing I managed to say on my own was to tell her that she was wrong, and this has nothing to do with losing control or anything like that. It's about the life of my child, of not losing another child. And I know logically that that wasn't what's going to happen. The risk for that to happen was really, really low. It wasn't at any risk at all, really. But it doesn't matter. Logic stops working. It's not relevant anymore. Logic is not relevant anymore. When you have that feeling, when I lost Tella, I knew when I woke up and I was starting to bleed and realized I was bleeding that she was going to die. I was 100% sure she was going to die. And they kept telling me that she was going to be okay, that everything looked fine, that I was bleeding and I was doing this C-section because I needed it. Everything was fine at that. There was nothing to worry about. They kept telling me that, and I kept telling them they just couldn't let her. We did the C-section immediately with Tella, and still I knew directly that she was going to die. And as I said before, it was 16 minutes from that I woke up until she was dead, and to know that your child is dying for 16 minutes, it's like I compared it later on with like watching your child drowning and you not be able to do anything. But just sit there and watch it drowning for 10 minutes. It's a very long time. Not, I don't know. All those things came back to me when I was in that living room. I was having row and I was so sorry. Yeah, and time's out for this video too almost. So yeah, gonna make another video and upload another day. I'm sorry it's taking all this time, but yeah, thanks for listening.